Hi all and welcome to the weekly Fife Property Market Update. We're going to be looking at the week commencing 27th of August to 2nd September yesterday, and what I'm going to be doing is giving you a rundown on listings, sales in the area, and also what we've got coming soon. So it's a great opportunity for you to see what we've got coming to the market. I'm also going to look at the weekly sales stats for last week, but also going to look at the monthly stats for the whole of August as well. Yes, I know, August complete already into September. We're going to be looking at what shows we did this week. So we're going to look at what we produced and the broadcast that we did live so that you can catch up with those. And I'm also going to give you some details about the next wealth creation show. So the first thing I want to speak about is some of our shows that we did last week. It was a really busy week for shows last week. So on Saturday, yesterday, Spread Your Lets is something that Richard and Jim covered, and it was basically talking about diversifying your lettings portfolio. So although long-term lettings to professional tenants are easily the most hands-off way of being a landlord, there's not only your only option. So Richard and Jim talk about that, give you a bit of an insight as to how you could potentially begin to have a portfolio, and the link is on here. So if you want to have a look at the show and get some top tips, then feel free to do that. So that was Spread Your Lets, that one. So it was a great show that they did. They also then on Wednesday did one called The Changing Landscape of Fife's Housing Market, exploring the ethical dimensions of buy-to-let investment. Richard and Jim did that. It tends to get a bit of a bad rap, doesn't it? Private landlords at the moment, there's lots in the news about those, but actually they fulfill a vital resource to help house people, basically, who can't get housing any other way. So what they do is they look at the comprehensive articles exploring the complexities and ethical dimensions of Fife's housing market. Really interesting article, actually, very much worth watching. It talks about the generational economical imbalances that are there as well, the rise of private renting, the controversial role buy-to-let landlords play, as I said, and really just providing a great resource in regards to the housing market, which is actually in really an exacerbated crisis at the moment because nothing's being built, is it, to house tenants. So it's a good way to understand really how the private landlord works and get some good insights to that as well. And then I don't know if you saw it actually, Jim, even though he's on holiday today, did the Zoopla UK House Price Index as well for August. And that's a really interesting article. The executive summary, I'm just going to kind of go over with you, but it gives you a really good insight as to where we are in regards to the property market at the moment. So annual UK house price inflation slowed by 0.1%, the lowest since 2012. House price growth ranges from 1.7% in Scotland, so really positive market in Scotland still actually, to overall minus 1% in England, say London for instance. He also talked about the profile of regional house prices, inflation linked to first-time buyers. And actually, when I give the summary of what we sold this week, there is definitely a theme coming through there for first-time buyers. So it'll be interesting for you to see that as well. And the affordability and the relative cost of renting versus buying as well. So again, the article gave really good insight as to why people are now deciding to buy versus renting. Housing transactions are still on track as well for 1 million completions for 2013. So that's a really strong market base. Sales completions are 21% lower over 2023. And that's actually the lowest level since 2012, but not a concern when you see the monthly summary, and I'll cover that with you. Bearing in mind, this is UK as a whole, so it's not necessarily always impacting the regions that you're in. Cash buyer sales expected to hold in line with 2022, while mortgage-backed sales are likely to be lower by 28% as higher rates impact demand. Everyone understands that the interest rates are going higher, so it does impact the borrowing amounts. And we're definitely seeing a bit of a cut in the market in regards to property value. So anything really 250,000 under seems to be going quite well and selling quite fast. And then everything really around the 300 up is taking slightly longer. And it's obvious that that would be the case because actually the multiples of your income, you know, maybe you were able to manage a house at 350,000 4 weeks ago, but now actually you're down at 250 because the monthly management amount isn't really viable for you. So it's interesting to see how that's going to compare as we go through the second half of this year. So fastest earning growth, improving housing affordability. So again, people's earnings are high. In Fife, it's at 5.5%, 2%, I think, 5.2 times, sorry, income, versus London, it's much, much higher. You're looking at 6 and 7%. So definitely more affordable to be in Fife as well. Lowered mortgage rates, key to the improved market, and also they're key to the demand going into 2024. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to affect things. So very interesting times ahead for sure. What I want to look at now is the weekly stats. So we talked about that last week and got some good ideas of what they look like. So if I just give you a little look at that. So what you can see here is what we sold throughout Fife, through all of the estate agents. So we covered that in the regional areas, and it's good for you to understand how your region's operating. So from the 27th of August to the 2nd of September, Cooper, 9 properties were instructed to the market and 13 sold. So that was an increase, obviously over demand there. However, having said that, actually it was even Stevens for Cooper the last 2 weeks. So really strong market in Cooper. East Neuk, 5 were listed and 7 were sold. So that's an improvement on last week where it was 10 instructed and 3 sold. So again, that's really nice to see that that's taken into account there with this week's sales. St Andrews, 9 and 9. Levenmouth, 16 and 4. So certainly Levenmouth's seen a bit of an influx come on. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues into next week. Dunfermline, 54 versus 44. But again, in the Dunfermline market, you don't have the new lists coming in there as well as regards to the sold. So it does kind of distort it a little bit. Glenrothes is 7 and 12, Kirkcaldy 20 and 23. So overall, there was 120 properties instructed with 112 being sold. That still sits at 93%. That's a really strong market still. The way that we judge the market basically is that 19% of people will sell and actually don't go then on to buy. Various reasons that could be. It could be separations, it could be it's a deceased estate, so actually they've got property to sell but they don't need to necessarily go and buy something. So we say about 19%, so anything really 80% and above in sales is a really positive housing market. So interesting to see how that will fare when we look at the monthly stats. So I'm just going to look at that just now with you. So if we look at the monthly stats, Cooper instructed over the month of August, 49 versus 53 sold. So that was 108%, as you can see. So that's a really strong market in Cooper. East Neuk, 29 versus 21. That's at 72%. St Andrews, 35 versus 29. So that's at 83%. That's a strong market for St Andrews. Obviously, everyone knows St Andrews is a higher price point throughout the Fife region. So it's overperforming, and the explanations that I've just given there, that we would anticipate really anything 80% and over is a strong market. Levenmouth, 57 versus 49. So that's sitting at 86%. So again, very strong performance in the Leven area. Dunfermline, 213 versus 199. So that's sitting at 93%. Glenrothes is 61 and 61, so 100%. Kirkcaldy, 125 versus 96, so that's 77. So throughout Fife as a total, 569 properties were instructed last month. 508 sold, as you can see, 8 to 9%. So that's a really strong market when we say anything really, the anticipation is 19-20%. Won't go on to buy another property. So very strong performance there in regards to what we're seeing. For you. There we go. In regards to sold, so why do we tell you what's sold? Really, the reason for telling you the sales is so that you get an idea of what is selling in your area. You may not understand or appreciate the value that you have in the property that you're currently sitting in, and actually understanding these numbers just might motivate you to maybe make a move. Maybe your circumstances are changing and it's something that you're considering. So sales. Krebs St Monans, this was a beautiful property. This one took a little bit longer to sell actually. This took 12 weeks to sell, but it does go back to what we said earlier in regards to the price points at 300 plus taking a bit longer. This was a 2-bedroom detached house. It was listed at offers over 325,000. So again, it's ticking that box where it's taken that bit longer to sell. The new owners are relocating to the area. They're actually leaving rented accommodation to purchase. So again, it goes back to what I said earlier on in regards to people who are currently rented, who are potentially looking to buy. So nice to see that that's happening. Next one, Series in Cooper. This was lovely. This was a 2-bed end terrace cottage. It was beautiful inside. This one sold in 3 weeks. And that one was listed at offers over 270,000. And the new owner is absolutely delighted with their new village life. So very excited to be moving to the area. Next one I have for you is Laurel Avenue in Methil. This one was sold in 2 months, but actually it was the second time we sold it. So it was a bit of a change in the circumstances of the buyer. We sold it again. It's a 3-bedroom terrace property, finished a really high standard inside. That one was listed at offers over 130,000, and the new owner was a first-time buyer. So again, rented, moving into buying, first-time buyers, starting off. So it really makes the market healthy, which is great. Next one, Green Loanings in Kirkcaldy. This one sold in 8 days. It was a 1-bedroom ground floor apartment. And that one was listed at offers over 70,000. And again, the new owner, first time buyer. So there's definitely a theme coming through there. So I'm just going to let you have a little look at these properties. So this was one that we sold in St Monans. Isn't that beautiful? So that was the cribs that I spoke about. Beautiful property. Then we had the one that we had in series. You can see that little cottage. Isn't that gorgeous? It overlooked the green as well. It was just fabulous. Really, really lovely property. Then we'll look at the one we had in Laurel Avenue as well, which was really beautiful. Let me just get that for you. So this was the Laurel Avenue one. For some reason, I can't get that for you. Can't get that one to come up for you there, sorry. So the Laurel Avenue one, it was a mid-terrace property, really, really nice property. First time buyer as well, so really excited to be moving into their house. And the ground floor apartment in Kirkcaldy, that way it's really, really popular. We actually had 2 people miss out on that property as well. So you can see that there is a theme coming here with renters and obviously first time buyers. We now have coming soon, so really busy week ahead for us coming soon as well. So Sycamore Avenue, we have a 3-bedroom terrace property. So at Sycamore Avenue in Methil. This is a lovely property as well, really spacious, beautiful garden, nice kitchen and bathroom as well. So lovely family home in a great location. We then have Cooper Road in Largo Ward. This is a 2-bedroom terrace cottage, really beautiful inside as well. Log burner, lovely garden, lots to offer at that property as well. We then have Beacon Court in Anstruther. And that one is a 2-bedroom retirement living apartment. Really great location, beautiful sea views as well. Fantastic for an elderly person. Everything on site that you could wish for. It's in a prime location. So that's an interesting one that's going to be coming next week as well. I will be doing the pre-portal for that next week, so you'll be able to see that. We then have Rosewind in Crail, which is a 2-bed semi-detached chalet property. It is beautiful as well, in a great location, down a little quiet close. And again, we're doing the pre-portal for that one next week. So looking forward to showing you that one. We then have another one coming on in the Methil area, which is in Kirtland Walk. It's a 3-bed end terrace property. So lots of space as well, huge garden. You've got off-street parking with this property as well. So really, really nice property. We then have Dower Street in Leven. It's a 2-bedroom first floor apartment, really popular location. Lots of property for the price point as well. So that's one to be watching out for next week. And Sophie will be doing the pre-portal for that one next week. We then have Mayfield Terrace in Collinsborough. And that's a 2-bedroom end terraced property. Beautiful garden, lots of off-street parking. Great opportunity to extend that property as well. Really has got a lot on offer. It's a great plot. Next one we have is Cooper Road in Pitlessie. This one is stunning. So I was out at this one last week and I'm doing the pre-portal next week. It's a 4-bedroom semi-detached cottage. It is just beautiful inside. Really nice rooms, high ceilings, lots of detail, beautiful garden, kitchen, open plan living area is spectacular. So really looking forward to showing you that one. We then have one in Braehead in Pittenweem as well. And that's a 2-bedroom semi-detached house. So lots are coming next week for you to have a look at and some of the videos that we're going to be doing. So quite excited to be showing those properties off to you next week. Next, what we have is what has completed. Why do we talk about what's completed? It's basically an opportunity for us to let you know how property is performing. So completed basically means keys handed over, money has exchanged, new owners have moved in. And it's a good idea for you to get a view of the values of property in that location. So the first one I'm going to speak about is Main Street in Strathkinnis. This one was a 5-bedroom terraced house. It sold in 2 months. It sold for just over the home report price. And that one was on offers over 480,000. It's a beautiful property. The new owners have left rented accommodation. So there's a bit of a theme coming here, isn't there? Rented accommodation, going into buying, first time buyers, starting the market. So definitely see that flow coming through all of what we're doing in regards to the properties in Fife. But that is a lovely, lovely property. And they're actually relocating to make it their family home as well, which is fantastic. Next one I have for you is Ferguson Place in St Andrews. That's a 5-bedroom detached house. So again, big properties this week. That sold in 2 weeks. It sold for 5% over the home report, which was an extra £32,000 for our seller, which was a fantastic result for them. And that property was listed at offers over £650,000. And that new owners, again, relocating to the area, making it their family home. So definitely people wanting to live in Fife, and we know why. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? So good theme coming through in the properties there, which gives us good faith in where the market is going, which is quite exciting. Next thing to talk about is the Wealth Creation Show. So the Wealth Creation Show is on tomorrow at 12:30. So that will be Richard and Jim performing that. The topic for tomorrow is save, spend, share, invest. So it's 4 ways to use your money and make your money work for you. So what they're going to do is look at ways where you can evolve your financial environment, how you can become financially independent, recognise the significance as well of being prudent with your savings, spending. Again, do you need to be spending and buying the big flash cars, or can you be making that money work for you in a different way? And just talking about as well smart investing. So how can you make your money work for you? So that's a really interesting show. That's going to be on tomorrow on all of our channels from 12:30, and that'll be Richard and Jim conducting that as well. So quite a lot happened last week, and we've got lots planned for you this week. So watch out for some of those shows that we've got coming, and also for our pre-portals. And again, if you are looking at property, ensure you're following our social media channels in the area that you are looking to buy, because that's when you see these pre-portals, and that's before they come to the websites and before they go to the portals. So it's a great opportunity for you to get in there first if you're in a position to proceed and buy a property straight away, and potentially make the seller an offer they can't refuse and get you your dream home. And that's the update for this week. And it's Perry at Fife Properties. Take care. Have a wonderful remainder day. Bye.